Welcome back everyone to another episode of Hearts of Eon 4 World Conquest Edition. Today's tag is Bhutan. First of all, I would like to credit Avocado for the strat for the start of this run, though I did modify a bit of the timing of certain actions, and without further ado, let's jump right in. First of all, build an airport and pick the political effort focus. Once it's done, hire the communist advisor and go down the military factory branch. Once you're done with the three focuses, go down the communist side of the focus tree. And whatever you do, don't switch to communism until you can finish the political commissar's focus, since it can increase your communism support by 20%, which can hurt you negatively later on. Then justify on Tibet. Switch the communist advisor for the fascist one and get the ideology loyalty doctrine for the weekly manpower. Then drop your 50 planes and recruit 24 units with the 2-width template. Once your wargoer is ready, pair it up far away from the front. It's required since taking their capital is not enough. Then drop a single unit on the left side of their capital. The AI should attack it instantly. Then you can drop another above it to see when the units will finally move out. Also, don't forget to hire backroom backstabber once the war is over. Now that we are finished with Tibet, justify on the US. We need the world tension to be at least 60% to request lend-lease from non-aligned nations. Then ask for military access from Xinjiang and the Soviets. Also, non-aggression pact would be useful. And increase relations with Iran, Turkey, Spain and Portugal. Keep on expanding civil support till your stability is below 60%, so that you can do the anti-fascist raids, which drop it below 50, and you can finally trigger the civil war. Instantly request the convoys from the nations that I mentioned beforehand. Even the Soviets should give you some. And then deploy a single 6-width paradrop unit and 7 other 4-width ones. Once they are at 10%, justify on Romania and quickly finish the civil war. They should have no unit available to them. Once you are done, pause the game, create a faction with Italy, put a frontline order with France and request expeditionary forces from them. This exploit allows you to take all of their army, sort them out. Usually Italy builds decent divisions, like the one shown here. While the trash one, just throw half of them near the Indian border and the other half as port garrison once we cap France. Now all that we have done beforehand is 100% fault proof, as in RNG. Can't fuck us over, but the paradrop into France is risky since they sometimes garrison some of their victory points. This is my 5th attempt, by the way, and I only managed to cap France 2 times. Make sure to put your 6-width on Paris, and the rest goes as follows: Orléans, Tours, Lyon, Lille, Bordeaux, Limoges, Troyes, and hit last stand. Best of luck. If things worked out perfectly, France should be dead now. Move your elite units into the port in Dunkirk. Make sure to not put any units or plane in western France, or the AI will contest the air zone. Wait till everyone is in position, then do a quick redeploy into the airport near Rouen and land in Portsmouth. It should be empty most of the time, and instantly move your army in there. From here on out you'll micro like hell, trying to cap the UK. Try your best to quick deploy your units every time you can, and take every single province that's open to you, since it messes with the AI's frontline. Germany usually declares war on Czechoslovakia around this point, so make this war quick, before they suck up too much war score from you, like the bombs that they are. Try justifying on Mexico and declare on them before you cap the UK. Being able to attack the US from the south is very useful. Once the peace deal is triggered, focus on puppeting France and England. They will be the backbone of our military industry. And take Malaysia. For the rubber, it's worth it. And don't annex Indian land directly, just puppet them. Also try to snipe the Dutch from the Germans, so that you can puppet Indonesia. They usually give you around 400 to 700k manpower. Also release Niger, since they also have a good amount of manpower to hand you. Make sure to request garrison support while the game is still paused, or Germany will steal it from you like they just did to me with Spain. Your next target is going to be the US. Take your full time to prepare, build good divisions with your puppet's manpower, and this is the most important part. Build a full collab government on them. Simply cannot push the US to the west coast fully if you don't have Mexico. It's too much of a pain of the ass, don't bother, it's not worth it. Just attack them from the north and launch a naval invasion into the east coast to distract them. Just pushing towards Chicago and taking Washington is going to be tough, so best of luck. And even though I had the 100% collab done on the US, somehow I had no compliance on them once I annexed them, which is odd. If anyone knows why, please do tell me down in the comments. Something bad happened while I was still at war with the US. Brazil declared on both Germany and Japan, which made them sign a non-aggression pact, which cucked me from declaring on Japan next. It's a strat that I like to do, like, you know, go from the US to Japan, then finally China to fix my manpower issues. Since invading Japan once they are done with China is a massive pain in the ass, but I had to adapt to my situation, so I simply capitulated Brazil, declared on Sweden for the reduced justification time for them being a major, and started cleaning Central and South America. And once I was done with that region, I joined the China War and prepped myself to navally invade Japan, which turned out horribly. They always turn their little island into a fortress this late in the game. I had to fully defeat their navy, nuke them before I could finally land after doing an invasion with 72 divisions. But I still got stuck, so I had no manpower to deploy my planes at this point. That's when I remembered that the AI is stupid. I turned off my planes, waited for them to do the same, then nuked their airports, when I had a small window to gain air superiority, and from there onward I just kept on nuking my way toward Tokyo. Now for my next trick, watch me summon magically 18 million manpower into my army. I made sure to capitulate the Soviets. Before leaving the Axis, I had around 30k planes ready and planned an invasion into Italy, built a shit ton of airports and railroads in France, and went ham on Germany, instantly nuked their airports, kept on pushing them with my tanks. There isn't much for me to say here since we fixed most of our problems. All we need to do now is just sit back and watch as we witness the fruits of our labor. Though I kinda got screwed since the war screen got bugged, so I couldn't see who I had to cap before getting the piece, so I had to check manually in the country list. That's when I saw that both Norway and Venezuela became majors. So yay, more fun for me in South America once again. And now that I finally defeated the Axis, the run is secured. Nothing is left for me to be afraid of. I just needed to capitulate Finland, and I could finally call it a GG. Now all that's left for me to do now is just wait for enough political power to annex the remnants of my puppets. It's kinda ironic that the first nation that I annexed, which was Tibet, ended up being the last. Here are the stats for this run, if anyone is interested. The video ends around here, guys, so yeah.